Welcome to your lesson on yields. As we've discussed, commercial property can provide solid returns. But how can we calculate the returns and compare them between properties? One key number to understand is yields. As we looked at earlier, commercial yields are typically much higher than residential property. So how do we measure it? A commercial yield is measured using the annual rental income the owner receives from the tenant compared with the purchase price, and then expressed as a percentage. There's a lot of debate whether a commercial yield should be calculated and expressed as gross or net. So let's clear that up. While residential yields are gross yields, commercial yields are typically given as net yields. In other words, the commercial yield is calculated based on the net income rather than the gross income. This is where most people get confused. They see 5% yield for residential and commercial and they think they're the same, but they are very different. So what exactly is the difference between gross and net income, and why is it so important when calculating your yield? Gross income is the total income collected from the property. It includes rent and any other extras, such as the payment for electricity, water, rates, property management, and other outgoings if the tenant is paying them. Net income is the gross rental income minus all expenses like council rates, water rates, insurances, maintenance, and property management expenses. It's the amount the owner receives after all expenses have been paid. This excludes your mortgage repayments, however. It's important to know whether the yield you are looking at is gross or net, as this will dramatically change the cash flow. For example, a 6% gross yield can easily drop to 2% yield once all expenses have been taken out. Going back to our formula to calculate the commercial yield, we will take the net income, divide it by the property's value, and present it as a percentage. Let's have a look at an example. Firstly, a yield calculation. Our property purchase price is $500,000. The gross income is $43,000. There is $7,000 paid by the owner for outgoings. This means the net rent is $36,000. So to calculate the property yield, we do $36,000 divided by $500,000 times 100, which equals 7.2%. You can also do this calculation in reverse to obtain a purchase price that will give you the yield that you'd like. So our desired yield would be, say, 7.2%. The gross income is $43,000 and there are $7,000 paid by the owner for outgoings again. So the net rent is $36,000. To calculate the purchase price, we do $36,000 divided by 7.2% times 100, which equals $500,000. On average, commercial property yields are around 4 to 8% net. This is a great calculation to use to get an indication of the rate of return a property will generate during ownership. Remember though, yield is just one element to consider when investing in property. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next lesson.